It's Thursday, my last night in Chicago. For breakfast I had 3 pieces of French toast and 6 pieces of sausage. For lunch I had a large bowl of fruit salad, 2 sugar cookies, and 2 small bags of chips, Doritos, and Fritos respectively. For dinner I had leftover steak, half of a larger bag of Fritos, and a box of bottle caps. Not the metal bottle tops, but the candy that tastes vaguely like soda. Why am I telling you this? Well, as I said on my Twitter, if you're not one of the rats deserting that particular sinking ship, I'm looking to get my weight under control, and one of the things that I think will help is examining my food choices, which are not good. For example, I did the math, and if I cut out snacks and sodas, that's approximately 2,000 calories. And today was a slow day for me. So I'm going to work hard to stop snacking so much and not pick up the slack in other ways, like eating a whole large pizza instead of just half. Seriously, I have a problem. So I'm going to start each vlog with my food choices for the day, but I'm also going to talk about things that interest me. And this has been a long time coming. Let's talk about Illbleed. Illbleed is a game for the Dreamcast that I've been meaning to do a save files video on for every single Halloween since I started making these videos. And yet, it never seems to happen. I either get caught up in some other crazy idea, or I just plain forget that I want to do Illbleed. I really want to do Illbleed. This game is one of the most fascinating games I've ever played. It's a Japanese horror game that simultaneously emulates and skewers horror movies of all kinds, and Toy Story, for some unfathomable reason. It takes place in a horror-themed amusement park, and there are 6 sections of the park you have to go through, each of which makes you the starring character in a different kind of horror movie. The first one is a classic slasher, featuring a disfigured human murderer akin to Jason or Freddy. And then there's a monster movie taking place in an abandoned drive-in theater where giant worms are underground and killing everyone. And then there's a body modification horror movie where people are getting turned into giant wooden dolls and being hunted by maniac lumberjacks. Yes, that's a real thing! And then there's a movie where you're trapped in a mall with a killer doll and a bunch of other murderous toys. And then there's a movie where there's a serial killer and you have to solve the mystery of who the killer is from a cast of suspects. And then there's Woody from Toy Story going to hell. Literally. And he fights a giant evil version of Sonic called Zodic. Zodic. It's amazing. I love this game. The gameplay is weird and erratic. There's very little combat. You spend most of the game looking at things and trying to determine if they're traps or not, and marking them with adrenaline if they are. If you're right, you'll get an adrenaline bonus back. If you're wrong, you'll have wasted that adrenaline. If you fail to mark a trap, bad shit happens. Like blades shooting out of the wall, or a TV falling on you, or literal bad shit. One of the traps is a butt sticking out of the wall and it actually poops on you. This is real. The game isn't perfect. In fact, there's a special hidden ending you can only get on the second playthrough by deliberately letting all of your friends die, which is awesome, and what could be more horror movie than that? But it also causes the main character Eriko to lose more and more clothing until the end of the game when she's strategically covered by 3 scraps of cloth. Which is a shame, because I really liked your character up until that point, and I get that it's a horror movie trope for characters to get their clothes cut or damaged or even forcefully removed, but making her almost completely naked is just courting controversy to drive sales at best and pandering to the lowest common denominator at worst. Movies! Anyway, Illbleed is a weird, interesting, and flawed game that you should absolutely 100% play if you're into that sort of thing. And I will probably do a full video on it, maybe Halloween, but don't hold your breath. Until next time, justice always wins. Sulk in defeat, you bad person, you!